Hey, Kazznation. Before we get the show started, you see our new intro. We're going to talk about Super Bowl Sunday. We're so excited. We got a lineup on defense. We're going to talk about the best tacklers in the game on Sunday, and we're going to talk about the offense, of course, the best quarterbacks in the game. So let's get into it.
It's time for the Kazznation Sports Talk Show with your host, David Kaz.
Being that we're neutral.
Yeah, sure we are.
Sports talk show.
Because you're wearing a Buffalo Sabres hoodie.
What? No, not at all.
And your color commentator, Mr. Derek Gunning.
Oh my goodness, dude. You know what? Can we do a phone interview on my way home, dude? You just ask me the question.
Hey, Kazznation, David Kaz07 here again with Derek Gunning. Hopefully you guys appreciate that beautiful intro. It took us forever to make, but we got it. We're here. We're excited. Are you excited about the Super Bowl? Super Bowl Sunday. This is just going to be strict Super Bowl talk because it's Super Bowl Sunday, man. It's the biggest game of the year. Not the Bills playing.
Right. It's not so much excitement. It's kind of just like a traditional thing, you know?
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. It's Kansas City versus Philadelphia Eagles. Andy Reid Bowl, right?
Right. And the Kelsey Bowl.
And the Kelsey Bowl. First time the brothers are playing against each other in the Super Bowl? First time any brothers playing against each other in the Super Bowl?
Right.
It's exciting, man. It really is.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah.
Let's start off with what we wanted to talk about. We're going to kick it off and talk about two of the best quarterbacks in the game. Right. You got Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts. Let's get into the tail of this tape, man. This is kind of exciting to see them go against each other. You have two different quarterbacks do two different things very well. One's really good at rushing and scoring rushing touchdowns, where one is really good at passing and does it at an elite level, probably the best we probably will ever see. So Patrick Mahomes, 5,773 passing yards to Jalen Hurts, 3,976 passing yards, 374 rushing yards, and then 831 rushing yards for Jalen Hurts. Now, I think that Jalen might have made that 1,000, 4,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards if he had those 2-3 games.
Yeah, definitely in passing and definitely in rushing. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he definitely could have. 160 yards all you would need for rushing, and then, almost 24 yards, that's it, to make the 4,000. So you're looking at really good quarterbacks facing off. Percentages are almost the exact same, 67.4% to 66.2% for reference completion percentage. But the real thing is...
I was just saying it's not bad completion percentage considering the amount of attempts.
Yeah, 720 attempts. You're looking at like Patrick Mahomes show, period. I don't know if you could say they're overusing him, but Andy Reid's doing a hell of a job to keep him from getting hit. 29 sacks.
They got so many targets.
Yeah, 720 targets, 485 completions. But the 29 sacks, man, they're keeping them quick balls, get them out. Offensive line is doing a great job. The average in the league for a quarterback getting sacked is 30. He is under that average. So that line is doing a great job of making sure he's not getting hit. So even with that gimpy leg, man, he's going to be able to stand up and stand firm. He's only turned over the ball 18 times this year. You got 12 interceptions, 6 fumbles. Jalen Hurts is 17 turnovers, 6 interceptions. This is the issue that I would like to toss up. Fumbles. Fumbles are a big issue, especially if you're a running quarterback. We've had to deal with Josh Allen. Always an issue. He has 11 fumbles for the year. This is including regular season, postseason, sorry. That's a big breakdown. I know the point scored breakdown is incorrect there because he only has 22 touchdowns with 15 rushing touchdowns. So ignore that 69 points there. But Patrick Mahomes with the 50 and the 45 and 5 rushing, he's the best in the league at scoring. He does it all. He really does.
He's a magician.
He's a magician, man. He can just do things that you can't teach. You can't teach those little flips that he does to get Kelsey the ball, and those plays were 1 yard in instead of doing QB sneak. They just snap it and he flicks it over to Kelsey. It's just a almost automatic. It's perfect. It really is. I can't believe that he can do it. Josh Allen tries it. All these other quarterbacks try it. They're just not as good, you know.
It looks goofy, doesn't it?
It does, man. It does look goofy, but Patrick Mahomes makes it look so slick, so smooth. But on the other side, you got a guy who breaks ankles, man. This guy is shifty. I don't know if Lamar Jackson and him could talk about who's better, in reference to being the shiftiest quarterback in the league right now. But Michael Vick is really happy to see someone like this playing for the Eagles. I mean, Jalen can move, and he's got those quick moves with his feet that makes the linebackers regret it. I mean, we're going to get into defense in a moment here, which kind of break that down, and that's kind of exciting because we're talking about the offense pretty much runs through these quarterbacks. The one thing I will say is Sanders has 13 rushing touchdowns, so he's really close at tying Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts leads his team with rushing touchdowns with 15. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like our quarterback with leading the rushing yards and rushing touchdowns.
Well, rushing yards I think is led by Miles Sanders right now. Jalen Hurts is second on his team.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely all through Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. These offenses are led by their quarterbacks. If their quarterbacks get down in the Super Bowl, you're looking at a different game. I mean, look at San Francisco. But,
right.
You know, Christian McCaffrey's comment, I get it. I understand it. He's a little sore about it. But it's what happens when you got really good teams out there, when you're at the pinnacle of football, you're in the NFL, your quarterback's going to run your team.
They were lucky to be there with a third-string quarterback.
I mean, he's probably going to be their starter from now on. That guy is good.
Yeah, we already knew that when he went in.
No, not a single person knew that when they went in. Any final takes, man? Any last takes you want to talk about the offense? Anything you want to say?
Oh, it's gonna be a great game.
It is going to be
overall.
I do have to say, go ahead.
It's going to be two different, like you said, two different ways. You know what I mean? Like one offense is going to be slinging it, and the other one's going to be a mixture of running and passing. So it's going to be kind of fun to watch.
It is going to be fun to watch. You know, the one thing that I do say is that when they do run the ball, Kansas City has got 5.7 rushing. They're actually 5.2 rushing yards per play rushing. Patrick Mahomes has 5.7 rushing yards per play. The average, can you imagine, he's not running that much, only 374 yards, but when he does run, he takes advantage of that defense.
Well, yeah.
Each time he goes down 6 yards.
But we knew that, right?
Yeah, but I didn't expect it to be like these numbers. I mean, it's better than Hurts. Imagine if Mahomes could run more. Imagine if they let him.
Right. Well,
who knows?
Like I said, he doesn't have to right now.
You're right. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to at all.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about the defense. Kansas City versus Philadelphia. I mean, these stats look amazing. We talked about the offense, how good they run through the quarterbacks. Now we're going to talk about defense and how good these teams stack up. Yeah, another great matchup to watch. This is exciting. Really exciting. We messed around. We have a good stat here that we're really, really excited about. Missed tackle rate, which we'll get into in a moment, but let's break down the big stuff here. So passing yards, this is what both teams do very well, as well as rushing. But passing yards, Kansas City's defense lets in 4,617 passing yards. This is including the postseason. So some of these stats might look a little bit different if you look at the regular season stats. This is including postseason as well. But that's a lot, man. That is almost Patrick Mahomes' average as a quarterback for every year of his passing yards. That's disgusting. They need to work on that. However, they're really good at stopping the run, man. 18-23 rushing yards allowed. So they win some, lose some, but you know, most of the time teams are playing from behind when they're going against Kansas City, and they got to air it out because, man, Patrick Mahomes is too good. I know we talked about it so much, but he is really good. Passing yards allowed for the Eagles, 3,778 yards. Rushing yards, 2,068. This is the best defense in the league.
Look at the sacks. I can't go to the sacks.
Yeah, I was waiting, man. I waited to talk about it. But, yeah, 70 sacks. And actually, this is the first and second team in the NFL with the best sacks. This is for the year. 70 sacks for the year for Philadelphia Eagles, just the regular season, and then 55 for Kansas City. That's crazy. They're, 15 points over the next guy? Like, that's disgusting. And they almost broke a record, too. I would hate to be Patrick Mahomes playing against the Eagles. But he'll get sacked.
Especially with his ankle, you know.
Yeah, I mean, quick outs, get the ball out, but they do a good job of making sure he doesn't get hurt. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. But let's see 1 or 2 hits, man. Try to punch that quarterback a little bit. So I wasn't going to bring up the sacks, but now that you mentioned it, 70 sacks for Philadelphia Eagles. That's the best in the league, and it's 15 best in the next guy, which is Kansas City Chiefs, 1 and 2 in sack leaders in the regular season with 55. I mean, that stat is nuts, man. 70.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, you were mentioning.
See how they come up with different schemes and stuff.
Oh, man. You know, the line, I actually might watch just the line play because line play for both of these are going to be really well. Offensive line for Kansas City against the defensive line for the Eagles, man. This is going to be fought in the trenches. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Some people might not, but I think that these defenses are going to make things difficult. I still don't think the Kansas City passing defense is the best, but they're going against an Eagles team that focuses on rushing the ball, rushing defense at number 7 in the league. So it's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a good one. Turnovers, Eagles are a turnover machine. They will get after that ball. They are ball hawks.
Yeah.
They punch that ball out a lot. 17 forced fumbles.
22 for Kansas City, you know, that's not bad.
Yeah, with 11 fumbles, 11 interceptions. You got 10 interceptions for the Eagles. But, I mean, it's not bad, but that 17 forced fumble mark, that is pretty damn good. And they get after the quarterback. That's a scary thought. But let's break it down to the one that we worked on the most and we're really excited about, missed tackle rate. So this is just an interesting number. These are actually 2 of the best teams with missed tackles. The rate of missed tackles, they're the best in the league. So very rarely will you be able to get some extra yardage off of them. You won't be able to escape them. I mean, you're looking at 11, almost 12% for Kansas City and just under 11%. That's your chance of getting away from a tackle. That's going to be hard, man. Real hard. We were doing this stats and we're breaking through, we're reviewing all these players, and I brought 2 players in my mind that's the best for the Eagles and the best for Kansas City. I didn't realize how old this guy is. How old is Nick Bolton?
30.
No, he is he's young. He's young. I know you know this, but like if I were to give you these stats and you tell me how old he is, his stats 135 tackles and 6.9 missed tackle rate. Now on the other side,
I would say 20. I would 25-year-old.
Yeah, I mean 25 is what you would think for a stud linebacker, but this guy is 22 years old and he is 6.9 missed tackle rate, which is one of the best in the league. 135 tackles regular season and the postseason. I mean, this is one of the best linebackers in the league right now. He's only 22 years old. That guy's got the sky is the limit for him. This is what we thought we're getting out of Edmonds. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still good for the Buffalo Bills. But, dude, this guy is amazing. I mean, even on the other side, he's a little bit better than the guy on the other side. He's still young, too. I can't get over it. I could speak about it all day. But TJ Edwards has 130 tackles with 10.7 missed tackle rate. That is disgusting, too. Again, these 2 ranked above the top 10 in the league right now with the missed tackle rate. They're really good at getting after you and making sure you can't squeal away from them. This is going to be.
That's why they're the Super Bowl too, huh?
Yeah. This is going to be a game, man. I am excited. Can't wait to watch the trenches, man. Can't wait. Any last takes before we close this show out? Anything you want to say about the defense?
Well, it's going to be a good game. I just watch both sides of the ball. You know, that's all I could say. And whoever makes the mistakes is going to win. And, well, last football game for the season.
Last football game of the season. We got the draft coming up after that, which we will talk about draft. We'll get nitty gritty of it, figure out what we're doing for that, talk about every 32 teams and who they're drafting. But, man, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, defense, Kansas City versus defense with the Philadelphia Eagles. Kelsey brothers playing against each other. That's really cool. I wish they were. I wish one was a defensive player, one was an offensive player, like one was on the line. They're both on the line. That'd be really cool. Can they just have like one play where they're playing against each other just for fun? Can they just like a special team play? Like, hey, he's punting off, he's receiving. Let's see what happens. You know, just for fun, just to see it, right? The one thing I wanted to ask you, and I started watching the Kelsey brothers show probably a few weeks ago, they had a good question here. Someone texted him and asked him, what rules would you change? They were,
I saw that. Yep.
They were talking about fighting, bringing fighting into the National Football League.
1 fight per game.
1 fight per game. That probably fight would happen
1-on-1.
First drive, because the defensive player would get pissed off an offensive player. It would be the line that would get involved, right? Would you want that?
I mean, I don't see why not.
Could you imagine?
I just think the problem is, like, in hockey, there's already a written code between the fighters and everything. Like, they know, you know what I mean? Like, there's a mutual agreement. Let's just put it that way. Like, unless something happens where you run a goaltender or, board somebody, where they're freaking concussed out, you know what I mean? Like
a good elbow or.
But
shoulder.
usually there's an agreement between the two guys. They get a face off, hey, let's do this, okay?
Yeah.
And then they go at it. In football, I feel like it would just be so spontaneous because at first it's all fun and games, but like you said, all of a sudden it turns to a blowout, and then someone starts swinging off. Well, I think the nature of the football player out there, I think it's just going to turn into a melee. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've had some really weird situations happening with helmets, hitting helmets, people with cleats.
It's just not in the game, so there's no you don't, you know what I mean? As the years evolve, you don't get some kind of agreement going. Don't touch him. I'm going to come after you.
Yeah, lacrosse and hockey, you know what I mean? they have years of experience. They all know what the rules are. I mean, these rules aren't
they're not written. They're the unwritten rules. Yeah,
they're the unwritten rules, and that's what everyone's like. Why is fighting in hockey or lacrosse? Why are they in these pro sports? Because it's a part of the game. It's weird that fighting is a part of the game. Sure, if you're
momentum
not into
change.
Momentum changes, protection, forcing other teams to realize they can't do any shady stuff against your goaltender, against your scorers. Right. I mean, think about what happened to Gretzky. Not him, because for some reason he's just untouchable. I mean, he had his own problems, don't get me wrong, but people knew not to go after him. But think what happened in that era. A lot of offensive players got injured and hurt, like Leandros, because all these big guys were like, we're going after you,
they got crushed.
Yeah. But that's what happens. I mean, in order for you to stop that, you got to have a guy who's like,
you go get a tough guy, and they would think twice about hitting that guy.
But now tough guys score now, so that's the other fun part about it too.
They can score and they can throw the mittens. Yep.
They can score and throw the mittens. But that's it for us. This is the Kazznation Sports Talk Show. Hopefully you liked the intro. We loved it. We eat it up. We watch it 80,000 times. We'll probably still watch it. I'll probably go to sleep watching on replay for 50 or 60 times. But who do you got? Last take. Who do you got to win? What's the score?
I got the Eagles 28-24. MVP Jalen Hurts.
Wow, 28-24, Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles. Kansas City, 17-10. Yes, I know, I'm stupid. But 17-10, low-scoring game. Travis Kelce gets the game winner, touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, it's the quarterbacks that are going to win the MVP.
Putting a parlay together?
What's up?
You putting a parlay together?
I thought of it. Get money where my mouth is, but right now I'm going to nah, I'm good, just in case I'm wrong. But Patrick Mahomes is going to be the MVP. Whatever quarterback wins is going to be the MVP, unless there's a studded cornerback or someone who sacks the quarterback 8 times. I doubt anybody
makes a big play. Yeah.
But that's it for us. Stay safe, strength community, show some kindness. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for love and support. We hit 10,000 views Tuesday, so I'm excited. Keep watching and watch our bloopers. We got 2 more episodes coming out. It's exciting. They're funny. They're good. You love them. All right, man. Let's take it easy. Have a good one.
Later.
Guys.